In this experiment, we are going to provide two AI companions, Max and Oscar, with a simple development task. A third element, Liza, is going to run the tests. I want them to interact with each other using Ping-pong Programming to create this small yet complete project. For those unfamiliar with this technique, it involves pair programming combined with TDD, where one developer writes the tests and the other proceeds with the implementation satisfying those tests. I've set up all necessary ChatGPT prompts for the setup, and I've programmed the conversation flows between Max, Oscar, and Liza. This is the task I'm giving them. Build a basic bank capable of holding multiple account holders and allowing them to deposit, withdraw, and check their balances, according to the method specifications inserted here. Elixir enables the definition of type specs, which I use to define the desired methods. I'm also giving instructions on how I want the implementation to look like. Now that I've inserted the prompt, let's click on Send. You can see that Max understood the assignment and has written the tests for the first method, Create Account, and has even provided two different failing errors. Max has also understood that their pair is Oscar and has passed them the ball. These tests are incomplete because there is no setup code to start the BankGen server, so they cannot pass. Also, we could have tests to check for other invalid values such as nil or empty strings, but this is a good start nonetheless. Oscar also understood that their pair is Max, and they are supposed to work together. After validating Max's tests, they write an implementation for a function currently under test, using a gen server, as instructed. They allow to pass in an initial state though, which they should not do, as the rest of the code assumes the state contains the accounts in a map. Oscar explains the code, then passes the ball back to Max. Max agrees and tells Liza to run tests. This is needed because ChatGPT cannot run code, so we need a dedicated test runner process to really validate the code. Liza, running tests, find an error, and Max sees what we already knew, that we need to start the BankGen server process, which they add, and then passes the ball to Oscar. Oscar proposes to start the bank process with an empty map as a state, and the reason for that is to avoid test pollution. This is incorrect though. The bank process is linked to the test runner, so it dies after every test. There is no test pollution issue in the first place. This change has no impact whatsoever. However, Max is okay with it, and Liza runs the tests again, and they all pass. So Max is asked to proceed with the next method in line. Max here makes an error, because in our original specifications we did not ask to return an error if the account is invalid. We just asked to return the balance value. See the spec here. Though, Max decides that it's better to be consistent with the other methods and provides an error when an account does not exist. In case of success, it does follow the specs and only return the value of the balance as instructed, rather than the tuple OK value. They also make another error by testing that the return value of create account is a tuple while it should just be the atom OK. Max passes new tests to Oscar, who does not see these discrepancies and implements the related method. When Max asks Liza to run tests, they get notified of the problem. Max immediately sees the error and fixes it. The tests now pass, and Max gets tasked to proceed to the next method, deposit. Tests cover non-existent accounts, negative amounts, and a success case. Oscar proceeds and implements the method. All tests pass. It feels like being in autopilot mode now. I'll let you enjoy the show. Max now tells Liza that all methods have been implemented, and Liza asks to refactor code for maintainability and documentation. You can see that Max adds documentation and extracts nested statements into their own private methods. It does a few mistakes though. First, clauses with the same name and arity should be grouped together, and this refactoring is inserting private code within handle call methods. Compilation will succeed, but it will return a warning due to this. Second, they insert impl true tags before every handle call clause, while they should only have added it to the first method clause. Also, Max didn't add describe blocks and tests for readability, nor specs to the exposed methods, nor examples in the docs. Finally, they reference a state variable that doesn't get passed in the method. When the code gets passed to Oscar, they only see Max's missing state variable error, uncorrected. Liza gets to rerun the tests one final time. The implementation is finished.